All right, today we're going to take a look at an international broker called OnFin. Now, they're making a pretty big claim that their whole approach tackles some of the biggest hurdles that stop people from trading. So the real question is this actually a new path for traders? Well, let's find out. For so many of us, trading feels like this exclusive club, right? It's got a super high price tag just to get in the door, and the stakes are even higher. I mean, the thought of needing a huge pile of cash just to start, and then the fear of losing it all on one bad move? Yeah, that's enough to make most of us say no thanks before we even get started. But what if all of that is starting to change? See, in this explainer, we're going to look at a broker that says they're tearing down those walls. It really seems like their entire system is designed specifically to tackle those fears we just talked about head on. All right, let's get right into it. The first and honestly the biggest hurdle for pretty much anyone is money. It's the ultimate gatekeeper, right? So how does OnFin plan to solve that problem of just getting started? Well, here's their answer. $1 single. That's it. That's their minimum deposit. And that one little detail, it completely flips the script. It basically just takes that whole "I don't have enough money to start" excuse and throws it right out the window. Okay, I know what you're thinking. What on earth am I going to do with just $1? And look, that's a totally fair question. A small start like that isn't going to get you very far by itself. But that's where the next piece of this puzzle clicks into place. And this right here is their answer, leverage. We're talking up to 1 to 3,000. Now, if you're new to this, just think of it like this. For every $1 you put in, the broker lets you control a position worth up to $3,000. It's basically a tool that's designed to seriously amplify your trading power, turning that tiny $1 start into something much, much bigger. Okay, so the money barrier is basically gone. But that's just one piece. Let's talk about the next big one, because there's another major roadblock for a lot of people: the knowledge gap. I mean, what do you do when you've got the cash, even if it's just $1, but you have no idea what you're doing? And this is a huge one, especially for beginners. You've put money in your account, you're looking at all these charts with blinking lights and squiggly lines, and you're just frozen, thinking, what now? That feeling, that analysis paralysis, is so real. And the fear of making the wrong click can be just, well, overwhelming. So OnFin's solution for this is something called a copy trading system. The idea is actually pretty simple. Instead of just guessing and hoping for the best, you can essentially piggyback on the trades made by experienced pros. On their platform, they call these folks strategy managers. And they've made the whole process super simple. You basically just scroll through a list of experienced traders, find someone whose style you like, and then you set up your own investment and risk levels. After that, the system just does its thing. It automatically copies their trades into your account so you can kind of learn by watching what they do in real time. So, we've talked about the cost barrier and the knowledge barrier, but now we've got to talk about the big one, the fear that really keeps people up at night, and that's the risk of losing your own hard-earned cash. And this is where OnFin brings in a pretty wild idea, especially for the world of prop trading. What if you could get funded to trade with their money and do it for free? Yep, welcome to OnFin's free prop trading program. Now, prop trading just means you're trading with a company's money, not your own. And while that concept isn't brand new, it's the way OnFin has set it up that really makes you take notice. And here's the kicker: $0. Seriously, most other prop firms, they'll charge you hundreds, maybe even thousands of bucks for a challenge just to prove you know what you're doing. On Fin's program, no upfront fees, none. Your shot at getting funded is based on one thing and one thing only: your actual trading performance. And for anyone who can prove they've got the skills, with consistent trading and smart risk management, the prize is pretty huge. We're talking about the chance to trade with up to $25,000 of the firm's money. Okay, so we've covered the big, flashy features that are obviously designed to get your attention. But does the platform actually have the nuts and bolts, the basic tools that every trader needs? Let's take a quick look at their toolkit. So they're using the platforms that everyone knows and trusts. MetaTrader 4 and 5. So if you've traded before, you'll feel right at home. You can trade on your computer, your phone, anywhere, really. And they've got all the big markets: FOREX, crypto, indices, you name it. They've also got different accounts for beginners and pros. But here's something that's really, really important, especially if you're just starting out: negative balance protection. This is a critical safety net. It just means your account can't ever go into the negative. You can't lose more money than you put in, period. All right, let's pull all these threads together. We've looked at the super low entry cost, the tools for learning, the chance to get funded. So what's the final takeaway here? What's the big idea? Really, when you strip it all down, it comes back to a few key things. The barrier to entry is almost non-existent. You've got tools to make a small start feel big. You have a system to learn from people who know what they're doing. There's a totally unique and free way to get funded. And hey, they even have a way for you to earn by referring others. Now hold on, because this is probably the most important part. This is the broker's own disclaimer, and we have to be super clear about this. High leverage is a double-edged sword. Yes, it can magnify your wins, but it can magnify your losses just as fast, if not faster. And copying another trader, that is not a guarantee you'll make money. The bottom line is, and always will be, that managing your risk is the single most important thing you can do. And this quote really captures the entire philosophy they're going for. Start small, scale big. The whole idea is to give you a way to get in the game with very little risk, to start small, but then give you a bunch of different ways you can grow, whether that's by trading on your own, using the experience of others, or even getting funded by them. So, where does that leave us? Well, it leaves us with a pretty big question to chew on. By going after the three biggest barriers to entry, the cost, the know-how, and the fear of losing your own money, is a model like this the future? Is this how trading finally becomes truly accessible to, well, everyone? It's definitely something to think about.